So please, hey, good morning, happy Sunday to everybody. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been here, so I have to remember my routine a little. Lovely to see your faces. Please welcome to the Beamer our guest artist today, Mr. Jami Lula.
Are we doing pre-form live?
Yeah.
Hi. The cinematographer. I like that. Good morning, y'all. I hope y'all warmed up on the way here. Sunshine, your eyes, dewdrops, dragonflies. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Oh yeah. Your voice, waterfall, thrush song, coyote call. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Come on, y'all. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. I'm so grateful I'm alive. Oh yeah. Your hug, sweet kiss, holding hands in blind bliss. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 The shadows I conceal endeavor to reveal another part of me, embracing all that I perceive. Oh, yeah. Cut grass, jasmine bloom, honeysuckle, and your room. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Come on. I'm so grateful I'm alive. 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 Oh yeah. So grateful. Oh yeah. Andy Belling.
It's all about whether you end together or not. That's where it really works. Please welcome to the Bema, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Summer Sunday. It feels good, doesn't it? Really feels good. Well, what a pleasure to be back with you all. It's been 2 Sundays since we've been together because of Ciclavia. Did anybody participate in Ciclavia? Well, you Ciclavia non-participants. So, well, I hope you had a great Sunday last week, did you? Yeah. I did. You'll hear about mine later. So it's great to be here. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We are a community that has been gathering together on Sunday mornings for almost 30 years now. This October will be our 30-year anniversary. And so we've had a multitude of incarnations and expressions over that time. And we're having one of those today. So it's a real pleasure for us to be together. We are a community that practices primarily the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes, which wrote the book, The Science of Mind. And it's a publication of a collective of philosophies and faiths and teachings that speak to the power of the universe with the philosophy that there's only one power that exists in the universe. It expresses itself through you and through me by means of our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and our reactions in life, and that we get to really see what those things are because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. And that law manifests those beliefs and those actions and those reactions into form. And so if we want to really say, hey, what the heck am I thinking and what am I believing in life, look into the outer world. And as opposed to freaking out if we don't like what we see, we have the opportunity with every thought and belief and action and reaction, intellection in life to change that. And in so doing, changing our thinking, which gives us the opportunity to change our beliefs. And in so doing, we get to change our experiences in life. Sounds pretty logical to me. How about you guys? Well, personally for me, that's one of the things that I loved about this teaching when I came into it in 1982 and made it my life's mission and ministry to share that with others. And so it's my pleasure to be able to share that with you today. Are you looking forward to sharing it with each other? Yes. Good. So take a moment and say hello to those that are around you if you feel so compelled. And I'll dance. I do have a camera on me, don't I? So in that moment of robust love, which we just shared, which is still continuing, it reminded me of what our founding minister used to say each and every Sunday, whose name is Dr. David Walker, by the way. And he would say, we come together and we welcome one and welcome all. So in the vein of welcoming one and welcoming all, as Andy was just playing and you were saying hello to each other, and I was dancing, I realized that I was shaking my groove thing in my booty to the camera because we have Facebook Live and a live stream on right now. So showing you a different side of me. Hello, Facebookers and live streamers. It's good to see you, but we know that it's all the allness of God, right? Yeah. Good. So we open our service every Sunday morning with a ritual. The purpose of this ritual is to not just honor that energy that we've shared as joy in the moment that we just shared, but to also use our mind to be contemplative and to receive the energy of the divine that exists within us. And we do it through a ritual called calling in the light. And through this process, there'll be information that's shared with you. There'll be some music that you hear. You get to sing a little bit. And then at the end, there'll be a spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of prayer. So I'd like to invite up to the beam one of our longtime members, Wendy Waris, to light our candles for us today. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness and a remembrance that the light of the divine exists in and as all sentient beings. In our philosophy and faith, we believe that the following qualities exist within each and every one of us: peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. The quality of the divine that we use today in our ritual is love. The acronym that I have for love is lift one's vibrational energy. Lift one's vibrational energy. So I invite you to close your eyes in this moment and begin to feel the energy of your energy beginning to radiate and vibrate at a higher frequency. And allowing yourself during this ritual and throughout this service to emanate and to emit and to send this energy out into the universe. Dr. Holmes tells us that in flashes of illuminations, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they've seen and felt. A glimpse of this reality illuminates the whole being with the flood of light. Love. Lift one's vibrational energy. The definition of love, according to the science of mind, is the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. So as Wendy lights the first candle for L, lift or lifting, we move to the second candle for O, one's. That's your vibrational frequency, reflecting the one energy of all. Lighting the third candle for V, vibrational. Begin to feel the field of vibrations from within and around. As we move to the fourth letter, E, those vibrations are a reflection of the energy that's transpiring by means of spirit through each and every one of us, as its desires being fulfilled to create more of itself out of itself through us. And bringing into our mind's eye a single flame as well as the four flames that are lit up here. We're going to light the healing candle, that single flame, and to bring into your mind's eye anyone that you'd like to put into the light of the healing flame, which includes yourself and all the children of the world and all sentient beings, so that all may be affected and touched by the eternal and everlasting love of the divine.
I am love.
I am love.
I am peace.
I am peace.
In my heart.
In my heart.
I am free.
I am free.
I am spirit.
I am spirit.
I am soul.
I am soul.
All together.
All together.
We are whole.
We are whole. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. Calling in the light so staying in this field of energy, this vibrational frequency of spirit manifesting itself in and as and through us and all sentient beings. I know for each one of us that we came here today with purpose, to awaken our soul in a new way so that we find personal self-empowerment on our journey of being spiritually awakened. And so the light that we're calling in today is not simply the light of the external, but it's that flame of the divine that exists within each and every one of us that gives us life. And so we understand and commit to that as we go deeper and deeper into our soul, that very act allows us to go higher and higher in our consciousness. And it's this energy and action which appears to be in opposition just simply is the darkness and light, the good, the bad. It's the oneness of what appears in external as opposites, but in the internal and in the allness, there is only one thing ever taking place, and that's life itself as the divine doing its thing through us. And so today we allow ourselves to commune in this light of love as we lift our vibrational energy higher and higher and go deeper and deeper and deeper during this time together, not only just setting the tone for our day and our week and a life ahead of us, but planting roots in our consciousness and our being and our soul that must take root and then rise up as form in our life, as our actions and our reactions and our engagement in life itself. Today is the day. And we let it be as we say together, amen. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. You're welcome. It's good to have Wendy back. She said this morning, she goes, I've missed you all. I said, we've missed you too. You know, 2 Sundays ago when we were here, we sent a blessing to Wendy as her sister Lori was passing, who passed. And so we will continue to send love to her. Speaking of love, we got one big love bubble. You know, when I envision a love bubble, and I talk about them a lot, and I'm going to talk about them this morning, I typically see them in a color of purple. Kind of, one could say I might live in a purple haze. We'll let that go for a little bit. But we know that love isn't bound by one expression or one color. But the color of love that we're about to experience right now is usually swathed and bathed in orange. This individual loves orange, and as far back as I can remember having first met him, which has probably been close to 20 years now, we've known each other, he's always had some form of orange on, which sometimes is accented in blue as it is today. And I was just chiding him that even the color of gum that he was putting in his mouth matched the color of his pants and the stripe in his shirt. So he's quite meticulous when it comes to his expression in form. But that meticulousness isn't bound by the expression of form, because when he expresses his art, which is through music, he surrenders to the power of God within him. And so it's my pleasure to witness and to share with you as you share one of my soul brothers on this planet as he gives his gift of love to you through music today. Please welcome Jami Lula.
Thank you, Keith. And my new record is the Orange Album. I thought it was time. The Beatles did the White Album. Prince did the Black Album. Not really comparing myself, but just... Love is my choice. Love is my decision.
wish you peace. I wish you joy. I wish you love, 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 love. I wish you faith in yourself to reveal all that you've come here to be. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I wish you strength. I wish you courage. Wish you love, 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 love. I wish you purpose to create all your dreams and co-conspire with the light of your life. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Oh, 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 your answers to eternity are always deep inside you. Your freedom of expression is yours to choose right now. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Oh, love is my voice. Love is my religion. Oh, love is my choice. Love is my decision. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Oh, love is my religion. Love is. Come on, y'all. Love is my religion. Love is. Let me hear you sing it out loud. Love is my religion. Love is. One more time now. Love is my religion. Love is. Love is. Love is. One more time. Love is. Love.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Well, today the theme is definitely all about love, as it was 2 Sundays ago. And 2 Sundays ago, I spoke to you, and we spoke mostly about the love, the agape love, the eros of the divine. And I'll address that a little bit more. And so thank you for singing about love today, Jamie. I definitely appreciate that. It's always wonderful to have you here. Thank you, sir. So I have a question for you all. Has anyone in the room ever had an experience with the law of life or the law of attraction? Yeah. You have? Has it been good? Good. Been some time. Who said pretty much? Pretty much. Well, I'm going to share a story with you today of being reminded of the mystical nature and the mysterious nature of when one decides to open up to the multidimensionality of spirit in life and how it can manifest itself when we're ready and awake and alert for that to happen. And sometimes, I know for me, the story I'm going to share with you, I thought started through tragedy and loss, and was really not so sure how that was going to manifest itself as goodness in form at some point. As you all know, I had been away on vacation this summer, having a really fabulous time on the Hamptons and up in Montauk, and just spending a lot of good time on the beach. And I walked the beach in Montauk a lot, contemplating my next move. That Saturday when I was returning, I had an appointment scheduled at Boxer Rescue. And my previous lover, in spiritual form of a four-legged canine named Sadie, how am I get myself out of that one? Had moved to the great beyond on March 25th. A little unexpected, and yet at the same time it was a blessing. And one of the things that she had shared with someone who was acting as a medium on her day of transgression was that she would send the next pup to me, and that she would take care of that. And so when I was walking the beach on this vacation, I was really fretting about, am I ready to show up at Boxer Rescue that Saturday morning and step into this again? And I didn't, and I was returning on a Monday, and that appointment was on a Saturday, and I just really couldn't wrap my head around it, and I kept asking myself, what's this going on here? What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem? And I didn't really get clear on the problem till I returned back to LA. And what I realized was I didn't feel as if I had properly grieved her, grieved the loss of this loved one in my life. And so I shared that with my Yappy Hour crew. There's a group of people that we meet daily. We're the Yappy Hour crew. We do. And sometimes we hang out with our dogs, and sometimes we hang out with our dogs and walk, and sometimes we hang out with our dogs and go to the park, and sometimes we hang out with our dogs and drink. I mean, it's just the way it goes. So it's a Yappy Hour. And so we gather together, and I was sharing this with them, and they were all about, okay, Saturday's the day, Saturday's the day, you're ready, you're ready, you're ready. I was like, you all need to leave me alone, and here's what's going on. And so what came out of that was that Friday night we had a memorial service for her. And I postponed the meeting, that Saturday meeting. We had this most beautiful spiritual service of releasing her ashes, saying our goodbyes, loving her, thanking her for what she brought to us, and sent her on her merry way. The next morning, of course, as we know that the law of nature or the law of life can work, within moments of me getting up, I start getting dings on Facebook from Boxer Lovers group, from My Boxer is Possum. The list goes on and on of boxers showing up. So she's brewing her stuff all the way down to, several of you know, one had even shown up in my life that was in Chicago, and I had booked a flight to go to Chicago to get a dog I'd never met and drive her back here over 4 days. A little nutsy, right? Things, it's just, you know, it's either 0 to 100 with me or nothing. That same afternoon, the next day, I ran into someone on the street who was walking a boxer named Gizmo, who I had been following online from Boxer Rescue. This person doesn't even live in our neighborhood, never walks this neighborhood, just happened to have shown up that day in the neighborhood, right? So as we all know, we've had experiences with the law of attraction, right? The law of nature. This was what was showing up in my life. And so this continued to manifest itself over the next 2 weeks, pretty much, almost 2 weeks, leading up to the Thursday before last Saturday. So not yesterday, but last Saturday. And I'm looking at the Boxer Rescue LA sites, and nothing's ringing my bell, so to speak. And so the lady there reached out to me and said, so I want to confirm you're going to be here on Saturday. And I said to her, well, I'm really hesitant. I got to be quite frank with you, because in looking at your site, none of them meet my criteria. I want a younger female that's been somewhat trained, but like not a super duper tiny little puppy, but I don't want a 3 to 5 year old either. Like I want some, that I can have some imprint on this puppy's life. And she laughed. And I said to her, why are you laughing? I mean, that's not really nice. I'm sharing my heart with you. And she goes, oh, no, that's not why I'm laughing. She goes, I'm laughing because, as you know, we almost never get puppies. We almost never get them of females like that, because usually they're snapped right up before they ever get there? She goes, well, we have one that's been here for a few days named Sweeney that I think could be a good fit. And there's another one that's about to go on the website that just showed up named Trina that fits your profile. And there's another one that's going to get here tomorrow named Cora. So you're going to have 3 to choose from. I thought, well, she's already started her magic, Miss Sadie out in the sky. Or is it her magic, or is it just the mystery of the universe? And so I showed up that Saturday morning a little torn and a little confused and a little uncertain as to what was going to happen. And little Miss Trina comes out, and I fall in love with her, and she puts her back paw on my foot, and she looks into my eyes, and I'm like, oh, hell, I'm screwed. You know, like, here we go, right? 9-month-old puppy literally bouncing off the walls everywhere she goes. So I said, oh, yeah. So I was like, all right. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be, let's see the next one. So Sweeney comes out, and she's totally chill, no bouncing, but also no connection. So I'm torn, don't know what to do. This goes on for, and I saw Cora, that wasn't a fit. This goes on for 2 hours. 2 hours. So finally the lady's like, okay, the next group is here to see the dogs. You have to make a decision. So I called my friend who was with Sadie when she passed, and I said, I'm torn. I don't know what to do. I need you to tap into that dimension of life and help guide me. Let Sadie guide me. And then I said to the lady at Boxer Rescue, okay, I've got this medium working on this side, spiritual mind treatment-y stuff. I need some advice from you. I'm torn. And she goes, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take some treats, take the one, the Sweeney, go for a walk with her, sit down on the curb with her, and have a conversation with her. She looked at me, she goes, you kind of teach the science of mind, don't you? And I said, yes, I do. She goes, well, I think it's time to practice it. Literally, I kid you not. And I said, okay. And I've known this woman for a long time. All right, so I go and I sit down, and as I look into her, literally look into her eyes, I say to her, are we a match? Right? Are you the one? Are you the one that Sadie's sending? And with that, she crawls up into my lap and hugs me. So I've now been training her for 8 days, took her home, and she fit right in. Now, why do I tell you that story today? I tell you that story, A, because you're gonna all wanna know it, and it's easier to tell it once as opposed to 50 times, A. But I also tell you that story to remind you, as it reminded me, that the law of the universe, the law of nature, the law of attraction, the law of reciprocity, the way that life works is always working for us and through us. That, I don't know about you, but for me, there have been times, obviously, that I get quite complacent in that. And I forget that there's this energy field, this force field of creation that I am one with, that I have the opportunity and the possibility to use in a way to multiply and magnify the very good that it is in my life. And that it is not bound by my previous experiences in life. It's not bound by my fears of the future. It's not bound by what I think I know or what I don't think I know. It, by nature, isn't bound. And so when you and I choose to open ourselves up to its nature, which is good, which is peace, which is power, which is beauty and joy and light and life and wisdom and love, then we get to experience more of those things in our life. And I can tell you from someone who is exhausted after the last 8 days of potty training, crate training, treat training, training, worrying about sleep, that as hard as it all is, it has been magnificent because I'm getting to experience love in a new way because I'm choosing to love in a new way. That's the nature of nature, is that we by nature don't get to just sit back and say, bring it to me, I'm ready for more love. That the only way to experience that love is by choosing to express it. And the only way that we can choose to express it is by raising our awareness of it. It's important for us that as we desire to experience more of the peace and the power and the beauty and the joy and the light and the life and the love and the wisdom, or the more of Sweeney, or fill in the blank, whatever it is that each one of you desires to experience more of in life, is that what is required of us is to make a choice to lift our vibrational energy. Our teaching, which we've known since the beginning of this certainly incarnation of our teaching, is that our mind has power. that we live in a world where we experience what is taking place in our consciousness. And our consciousness is a reflection of what we think and believe and know and act upon in life. And so today I am encouraging you and I'm inviting you to ask yourself, how are you using your energy? How are you using your consciousness? Are you lifting your vibrational energy in a way that is attracting back to it that which you desire? Remember, energy begets energy. Daniel Goldman writes that all energy is contagious. Now think about that for a second. All energy is contagious. He goes on to write, if we can infect each other with fear, hatred, and violence, then shouldn't we presumably be able to do the same with love, generosity, and patience? All three of those have been tried for me this week. My love, my generosity, and my patience. But what I've chosen to do, because this is exactly what I desired to have in my life, was to stay on this continuum of sharing my life with a sentient being that needs my love and my generosity and my patience, which just happens to be in a four-legged form that doesn't use audible language that I understand yet to communicate, but I will. Already I'm starting to learn her languages and she's learning mine. But that is the energy of love and of patience and of generosity that I want to be the contagion, to make it be contagious through me. That I know already with her that it's not the right thing for me to propagate fear. It's not right for me to propagate anything of meanness or hatred or violence or anything like that. I would not want to propagate that for my beloved that I'm wanting to rear to be a healthy, happy, mentally stable, loving, giving expression of the only thing that there is, which is God. And 2 weeks ago, if you recall, we used the word dog for God because you remember it goes back to what did the dyslexic say to the agnostic? Why, yes, there is a dog. So why would I want, if I want for her that sacred expression of life, do I not want that for all sentient beings? Yes, I do, as I know you do too. However, it ain't gonna just happen. It requires you and it requires me raising our awareness, raising our consciousness, using the law of nature with purpose and with intention and with an awareness. Dr. Ernest Holmes, Herney. Who said that? Because I will use Herney. So Yo-Yo Herney, who wrote the book Psalm, says, the law of nature is use or lose. The people who are truly prosperous are generous souls. Even our intellects become sluggish if unused. Our muscles become flabby from a lack of use. Talents unused seem to disappear. We must bear in mind that there is an inflow, and only by permitting an outflow to pass the blessings on do we widen the channel for the inflow. What he's telling us is that for you and I to stay in the flow of our good, we must consciously use the law of nature. Now, it's only been since March that I haven't had a four-legged creature in my home. But I realized during that block of time I had forgotten. And pretty much because towards the end there, and probably the last couple of years, she was pretty self-sufficient, right? I never had to worry about her chewing anything in the house. I didn't have to worry about her taking the meatballs out of the bowl on the table and eating them last night. I didn't have to. But this is all part of it. It's just like building any other new relationship, right? You need to learn the idiosyncrasies of the very thing that you've attracted into your world, whether that is in form of human or canine or feline or simply just life experience. As mental beings, we are brought here on this planet to learn and to grow into a greater expression of who we are. And the only way that we can do that is through purpose, through intention, through reflecting our divine nature, which is inherent of being peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. So as we choose those aspects of the divine to give, they must return to us multiplied abundantly. And so today I encourage you to look at it solely from living then from a place of love. As Jami shared with us in the lyrics, choosing love to be my religion. Meaning that as when we engage in our spiritual practice, the practice of knowing who we are as divine beings, our role and our responsibility as we awaken ourselves to our spiritual nature on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment is to lift one's vibrational energy. We do that because if we are looking to seek a higher consciousness, which is exactly what we are desiring and seeking to do, we can only do that by going deeper and deeper into our soul. And then as we do that, that law of nature, the law of life is always doing its thing because it's impersonal and it is infinite by nature, then it does its part and brings back to us in life an experience that is reflective in form of the very work that we've done of lifting our vibrational energy, of going higher in consciousness and deeper into our soul. And then we become aware that what we're really doing is allowing ourselves to be that outlet of love as defined by Dr. Ernest Holmes, Hermy, which is the self-givingness of spirit, the life force itself, whose desire is to create more of itself through itself, and that can only happen by means of you and through me. Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for that very power, God. That it's free from condemnation even as it is free from fear. It's a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Whose sweep is irresistible. Our world has many definitions of love, but we most commonly think about it in a romantic sense. What if we looked at it? What if love, true love, if you will, meant more than romance? What if there was even a deeper, truer, more full expression of love that could only be found in and as the divine? It's called agape love. I talked about it 2 weeks ago. Agape love is the term that is used in as the unconditional love of the divine that exists within you and within me. And it's by engaging in that love and that awareness of that love, of choosing that love, that we experience more of it. But today I'm going to invite you and encourage you to broaden beyond the agape love, and let's choose to let that be the foundation from how we engage in and enact upon in and as life itself, and step into what is known as mystical love. Into mystical love, the mysterious nature of that spiritual form that is being taken through us, the essence of the very power that exists within us, that is making itself known through us, but opening ourselves up to that mystery and the magic of how it shows up, like what happened for me last Saturday. Well, what is mystical love, you may ask? Well, mystical love is the love that a mystic, we all are mystics, whether we know it or not, because we're choosing to be a part of this philosophy, faith, and way of life. Mystical love is the love that a mystic has towards the supreme being. The supreme being is not some abstract daddy up in the skies, but the supreme being is existence, formless. Supreme being is existence, formless and ageless, that is permeating the universe at all times. It has no distinguishable qualities, if you will. It is the eye of consciousness. What it's telling us here is that beyond just the energy that takes form by means of you and me, which in human qualities, or the qualities that we take on in it as a power, which is peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, is that transcendent upon that is mystical love. It's the eye of the consciousness. It's the portal, if you will, through which that creation happens, that we have the ability to have an imprint upon through our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and our reaction. Mystical love is the love that separates self. It's the love that a separate self cultivates towards the pure nexus of reality. It's that love that when we allow ourselves to be mesmerized by the miracles, if you will, of life, to be mesmerized by the good that shows up when the law of nature works. It's that place in life where we go, well, of course that was supposed to show up, but how frickin' mysterious was it that it did? Right? And it's not trying to overanalyze it, but it's laying into that place of creation, of knowing that innate within us is peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, and love, that we love the divine itself, but it's by raising our vibrational frequency to a place where we expect the magic and the mystery to be happening at all times. Why? Because it already is. But the key is to raise our awareness to a higher frequency so that when we live in it from that perspective, we're not once surprised that it does. A mystic is a being that has realized the truth of themselves through the inner looking, contemplations, meditations, and impersonal prayers. In other words, it's not just about what can it do for me, but how can I be the outlet for it? You guys get the difference? It's raising to a vibrational frequency of not what can I use this power for in my life, but realizing that your life is already perfect, whole, complete, 20th century metaphysical terms, meaning that there is nothing that can affect your divinity, that there is nothing that is wrong in your life, and that you lack for nothing. In other words, once you allow an acceptance that the power is an unfailing power through and as you, and let that become the sensory nature of who you are, let it become of your spiritual DNA, then move to the place where you become the portal for what it does through you, because you need not worry yourself, or me worry myself, that it ain't gonna work. Because it already is. And then it's being that higher frequency of how it works through you. Of how it works through you. And so today, I invite you to open up to a higher vibration of love in your life. Of love in your life as you're being the one to lift your vibrational frequency higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, to make a covenant and commitment to live in that mystical nature of creation that is unfolding, and asking yourself, what being or bubble of love am I right now that I allow myself to be the portal for co-creation in a way that appears to be mystical and magical, and yet it's just the cosmic force of life doing its thing through me. And then meet and greet that good as it shows up, because it is showing up with an open mind and an open heart, and with no attachment to the past, with no expectation of the future, but staying very present in the very moment. And then breathing in and breathing out, and being present in the next moment, and then the next, and then the next. Because what I know for each and every one of you, as I know for myself, and the conversation I was having with Jorge outside today, is that we are exactly where we're supposed to be. Exactly where we're supposed to be right now. Because where we are doesn't matter. It's what we choose to be that matters. Cynthia James says, you are what you do in this world, not what you say you believe. You are what you do, not what you say you believe. And the world, the universe, the law of nature mirrors back your behavior. I couldn't help but continue to hear the lyrics to this song in my head as I was preparing to share with you today. And it's from the great Joe Cocker, and the title is Up Where We Belong. And the lyrics are, who knows what tomorrow brings in a world few hearts survive? All I know is the way I feel when it's real, I keep it alive. The road is long, there are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lifts us up where we belong. Where the eagles cry on a mountain high, love lifts us up where we belong. Far from the world below, up where the clear winds blow. Some hang on to used to be, live their lives looking behind. All we have is here and now, all our lives out there to find. Love, lift us up to where we belong. What that means to me is when we live up in this state of heaven, the state of bliss, this state of consciously being that portal of expression for the divine, then we can make a commitment to ourselves to not be tethered to what's going on down here or the past, and have no expectation of what is to come. But by living in that very moment with purpose, and life begins to shift, and then shift, and then shift, and then shift. What we know in the human form, the physical form of life, is that life force takes form, and then it ends. And so what we have is this time here on this earth. We know we have this time here on this earth. Yesterday afternoon, one of my beloved friends and neighbors passed away at 12:45. And I was so blessed to be able to go and be with him right after he passed and stay with his physical body. And his best friend was there, and he was freaking out, like freaking out. And this was not an unexpected passing. And he couldn't wrap his head around the fact that his friend had left. And I stood there with him with my puppy in my hand on his leash, with his body, realizing he's not there. The memories are there, but he wasn't there. He had been there an hour earlier, sorta. But we're not bound by that physical form of a body. We're also not bound by our past experiences or our fears of the future. Once we tap into our infinite nature, we're not bound by it all. And so as opposed to letting that be something that freaks us out, let's use it in a way that we can co-create a world for ourselves and others that is beautiful and is filled with love and generosity and patience, because let's not forget that all love is contagious, as all energy is. So spread your love today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Give it up for Keith Cox, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, once again. Thank you. This is a song that was inspired by my nephew, who, when he was 16, was sitting at a table with my brother and his wife and my mother and his mother. And my brother, who passed in 2012, was rather homophobic. And they were talking about gay marriage. They'd been talking about it for a while, and he looked at my then 16-year-old, very uncomfortable, overweight, crazy-haired, very shy nephew, and he looked at him and said, "Well, Kobe, what do you think about gay marriage?" And my nephew looked at him and said, "Well, Uncle Mikey, can't help who you love. You can't help who you love. Oh, you can't help who you love. Love is blind, so they say. When you fall, you can't keep away. Man and woman, man to man, woman plus a woman, part of love's plan. Oh, I can't tell you below or above where it comes from. You can't help who you love. It's more than a feeling, fits like a glove. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. You can't help who you love. You know, some people won't understand what's not theirs to comprehend. 'Cause love seeks love in all shapes and sizes. When it finds you, it mesmerizes. Oh, I can't tell you below or above where it comes from. You can't help who you love. It's more than a feeling, it's like a glove. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Oh, you can't help who you love. You can't help who you love. Some people ask, what would Jesus do? He'd be the love. What would you do? Make a choice. Take a stand. With your brothers and sisters, every woman and man. I can't tell you below or above where it comes from. You can't help who you love. It's more than a feeling, it's like a glove. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. I can't tell you below or above where it comes from. You can't help who you love. It's more than a feeling and it feels like a glove. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Here's the sing-along. Can't help who you love. Can't help who you love. And all the children sing, can't help who you love. Can't help who you love. Even puppies. Can't help who you love. Can't help who you love. Oh, no, no, I can't tell you below or above where it comes from. You can't help who you love. It's more than a feeling and it fits like a glove. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Let's take it home. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Keep your heart open, you can't help who you love. Who you love.
Mr. Jami Lula.